Hi everyone. So I just promised the guys in my group that I would do a live market scan. So it is Tuesday, the 10th of March. So it's about nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm just going to run through the different charts and talk through a few of these things here. So alright, so starting off with the indices, right? So looking at the Dow here, so yeah, the Dow's broken some significant lows, and it is still coming into these key levels here. Okay, so it's going to have to test those levels, and that's really where the support is going to have to be tested before I kind of draw any conclusions as to what to expect from that throughout the rest of the week. So today, of course, the markets had a little bit of a rebound and then are currently falling low. So I want to see how they close by the end of the day. What I wanted to talk about as well, just mention here, is that there's kind of this, I think it's a fallacy. There's this belief that during times like this, you know, lots of people are making money. And I think it's really much more accurate to say that there might be a few people who are making money. I also think that a portion of those people were losing money on the way up because they were prematurely shorting the market. So now they probably break even or recovering. I think there's very few people who were really exited all of their long positions and were now ready to pounce and go short. So statistically, I don't think that's really the case. And so in situations like this, usually there's more people losing money in market conditions like this than making any. Predominantly, also the people who are losing money in this case are still long. They got in a bit late, and so we've given back the last 6 months worth of gains. But also anyone who's kind of actively in an amateurish fashion trading these markets, they're incredibly volatile. When you go down to the 30 minutes, and usually individuals like this are trading the 5 minutes or the 15 minute because they're not aware of paying attention to what's going on the bigger time frame. So they either would have been shorting this morning when it was heading up, or they were, or now they started to buy it and started heading lower. So they're all over the place, and so that is much more akin to gambling, in my opinion. For the time being, I'm still looking to see if the markets can hold at these key levels, and again, this goes to all of the indices. So in terms of trading opportunities, basically, my approach will be to either maybe I'm looking at shorter term scalps on this if I'm in front of my computer and I can give it my all. Otherwise, if I have anything that's distracting me, if I've got to go for meetings or I'm away from my computer, I'm not touching these markets at all, and I don't really see why anyone would do that. It's highly unstable. It's very illiquid. The exchanges can get halted. So it's too chaotic to be consistently successful. So the risk is much higher than it might appear to be. So anyone who thinks that this is, they're missing out on this money-making opportunity, you're not, okay? So it's effectively the same for all of these, and it's really only worthwhile where do we close at the end of the day, where do we close at the end of the week, but right now there aren't any trading opportunities per se on this, okay? So I'm just going to go through and then move on to things like oil. So oil's been nice and bearish. The beauty of that one was there was actually a trend to the downside, and there were some really magnificent entry opportunities. It's now overdue and it's retracing. So it's short, it's on my list, but not for today. In other words, for later in the week when it's managed to retrace back up into the moving averages, then I'll have a look at it. The same will apply to Brent. Let's have a look at cocoa. I'm not sure why there's a lag at any rate. So cocoa as well, waiting for a retracement back up into the moving averages, into these previous levels, then looking to short it. So basically, and this is very common even in the currencies, a lot of them are overextended and due for retracement. No trend on coffee, therefore no opportunities on it. I don't know why there's a lag. Anyway, I do like the look of copper. There's a potential shorting opportunity. It's a really big candle, so that is a concern. I may not take anything on that. Natural gas is now looking more bullish than bearish, and so, but no opportunities to go long. Soybean, there's a level of support here, and potentially it's looking to break that level, but it's not really yet. Now, onto the currencies. So dollar index, let's have a look at that. So dollar index is overextended to the downside and does need to retrace. So in other words, it could take a couple of days before there's a shorting opportunity there. It's going to be the same with euro dollar. So what it means is I'm not really looking to trade it immediately. I'm looking in the later this week, effectively. Same thing with euro dollar, looking for this to come back down into these key levels and then looking for buying opportunities. Okay, it'll probably be the same when looking at sterling, but the difference is that sterling is stuck within a range. Okay, so sterling dollar doesn't look that great. Aussie dollar still looks quite weak, and so that's potentially going to head lower and disregard this massively large candle, which just supports the idea that volatility yesterday hit every market. And that's quite interesting. I think that might be a paradigm shift. When I say paradigm shift, I mean it might be a shift in terms of when we started to see that impact across multiple markets, it could indicate a movement of assets from one class to another is what I mean. So Kiwi dollar, I'll still keep an eye on that. I don't trust these things just yet to go short. Dollar yen, I've got to wait for a retracement to the upside, and it's really not a great one. Anyway, dollar Swissy absolutely would sit on my watch list to trade to the downside. I like the look of that one. Dollar CAD is doing its own thing effectively. It's bucking the trend. It shows a stronger dollar against the Canadian dollar. It really shows CAD weakness. So that is something that might come into play looking at other charts. Euro GBP is also now pulling back and looking relatively bullish. And that one I would be looking for shorter term trades to the upside, much shorter term trades to the upside, perhaps intraday rather than swing trading opportunities. Euro yen looking bearish here to the downside, okay, but really big candle. That volatility has just kind of widened things. Euro Swissy also looking bearish here. Again, the candles are huge. Today's candles, not just yesterday's, but today's. Euro CAD, okay, we can see that that's climbing as well. So this supports the idea that CAD is looking really weak because both the US dollar and euro against CAD so far have climbed quite aggressively. Euro Aussie here. All right, looking to continue with its existing trend. Euro Kiwi, similar but not as good. So actually, Euro Aussie or Aussie pairs looking better for trading opportunities just post Monday's reaction. Pound yen looking bearish. So far we've got a couple of JPY crosses that are looking more bearish. Swissy pairs absolutely, and this looks great. So actually pound Swissy for day trading is looking fantastic. For me, that's a really nice one. Looking at it here, starting to break the lows. It hasn't updated yet. I think I've got too many apps open, so there might be a bit of a lag here. This hasn't actually updated. So at any rate, that to me looks more appealing as in terms of day trading opportunities on pound Swissy. That looks nice and bearish to me. I like the look of that one. Pound CAD, let's see if that's climbing. Okay, so pound CAD is also climbing. So it's definitely Canadian dollar is nice and weak there. Pound Aussie. Pound, it's this candle here. I mean, on the whole, it looks as though price is going to attempt to just keep going. But so far, the Aussie pairs look better when crossed with others, and CAD also looking good. So let's have a look around Kiwi CAD now. Ridiculous candle yesterday. That is absolutely crazy. I don't think I've seen one like that before. It just looks a bit crazy. That's on a daily time frame, ladies and gentlemen. Kiwi yen possibly bearish. Okay, so definitely JPY charts looking like they want to head lower. And we're almost done. Let's look at Aussie Kiwi. So we're going for 8 minutes now. Aussie Kiwi heading lower, back down to this level of support. Aussie Kiwi may well be looking to head towards parity. That's kind of possibly the direction it's going in. Aussie yen also looking bearish. Okay, let's have a look at Aussie Swissy. When this thing updates. Nice and bearish. Okay, so recapping as we go, Aussie charts looking preferable to Kiwi charts in terms of bearishness, but not when they cross with CAD. Pound Swissy and some of the Swissy charts looking nice and bearish. Let's look at Swissy yen. Although it's come back into a level of support and is testing that, the candles are just terrible. So either means looking for an entry opportunity on the lower time frame. CAD yen, looking nice and bearish. That's okay. CAD Swissy. It hasn't retraced enough in my opinion, but it's definitely looking nice and weak. So Swissy charts, a lot of the CHF charts looking to head low. Let's have a look at the commodities and then we're done. Okay, so we'll start off with gold. Gold's coming back in overall. As I said, I still anticipate that in the longer run, obviously my expectation is still to see this continue to climb. Looking at the weekly chart, it's still bullish. It's just choppy. And the issue with choppiness is that it doesn't really matter whether we know the direction it's going in, we can't really trade it safely. So that is a problem. Silver and the other metals are looking more bearish than bullish. Okay, silver is coming down. This is just too volatile. It's going to keep bouncing off support levels, and it's going to keep hitting a bit lower and just bouncing. So then this should be platinum. Looking a little bit weaker there, but also not great. They're just not great trading opportunities, and we've had some good trends. I mean, you look at the videos that I post up, you could see where we could see those good opportunities here. And this has produced a lower high. If it breaks this low, we'll be in a nice downtrend on gold against the euro. And we finish off with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin looking nice and bearish, coming back down towards the 7.2 level. Tradable for sure. Some gapping occurring on it though. But yeah, that's always a possibility. And Ethereum the same. In principle, again, Ethereum sitting right at a level of support and resistance. And these are also pivots. These are automated pivots that you're seeing generated on my chart. So it's a support resistance level where it is now. I'd rather wait for it to break below that if I was going to trade that, and that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just looking at this on a higher time frame there as well. So that's really it. Just to recap, staying away from the indices. Some of the commodities look decent. Some of the US currency pairs are all retracing, so I've got to wait a couple of days for those opportunities to arise. Anyhow, I'm liking the look of some of the Aussie charts, some of the Swissy charts, and I think there was one of these, I think it was Pound Swissy, that looked really good as well, or was it Pound CAD? At any rate, and that's pretty much it. That's where those opportunities for me are lying this week. But again, in terms of intraday, the issue is they're retracing, so it's higher risk. I have to wait for them to pull back, which means most of my trading opportunities will occur Thursday and Friday this week, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday next week.